Hello and welcome back to my Minecraft survival tutorial series. My name is Flag and yes, I have not updated my skin. I'm still this lovely avatar, so I will get to that in a very soon future episode. But today we need to worry about food. You see our hunger bar is slowly deteriorating. And I saw lots of food out there that we can gather and hunt. And so let's begin, shall we? So we'll go back to first person here. Now, first episode, there was a creeper that was creeping our way over there. So I'm going to exit here pretty quickly, but let's just look at our inventory real quick. We got granite. I don't really need that. I think we're going to make up a chest real quick. And I'm not going to have enough. So let's make a couple more planks. And oak planks all around gives us one chest. And let's get rid of some of this stuff. I don't need the granite, the diorite. I'll leave this stuff. I don't need the doors. Alright. Got these torches. I don't really need those right now because it's not nighttime, but I will need to arm myself. Alright, let's begin. I'm going to hop up here really quick because that creeper was creeping. I am a fan of the Minecraft music. My wife thinks that it sounds a little bit off for the type of game that it is. It's kind of like a old style format, 8-bit format game, and then you have this beautiful melancholy piano, but to me it actually makes a lot of sense. Just because you're out here on your own and it does sound melancholy, and so I don't know, it kind of just fits, but I'd like to hear other people's opinions of that as well. I'm a fan of kind of piano music and kind of melancholy music where you can kind of just think about things and ponder big thoughts of the world, Minecraft world. Wow, it is already late morning. Alright, so we need to deal with food today, and that means meat and mushrooms and other things. So in order to gather meat, you need something to hit them with, and a sword works very nicely. You just walk up to this case a cow and just left click, and a stone sword needs 2 hits to take a cow out. And as you can see, we get 1 piece of leather, 1 piece of raw beef. Now that can change. I think you can get 1 to 4 pieces of raw beef and 1 to possibly 4 pieces of leather. Let's just try to make our way up here. The reason I'm going after cows right now is because in that time I got 2 pieces of leather and 3 pieces of raw beef, and these little suckers, these are experience balls. And as you can see, it fills up this bar here, and when it gets to here, this turns to 2 and it starts all over, and then it keeps going up. So we got 4 pieces of steak. We're going to need more leather if we're going to build armor, but I'll worry about that later. But I also want to gather some of these little guys. These are mushrooms. Ooh, I hear a cave sound. And where there are caves, there's always adventure, but I'm not quite ready to go into a cave right now. Alright, so as you can see, these are mushrooms. We have raw beef. And there's 2 types of mushrooms. There's brown and kind of red polka dotted. And the red, they both come in the individual and giant versions. In episode 1, hey, an egg. And we can eat eggs too, but they generally come in the form of things like cookies, or not necessarily cookies, but cakes. You try to hide in that grass, weren't you, chicken? Cakes and pies. So chickens will just drop eggs all over the place. When you kill a chicken, you get feathers and you get raw chicken. Now you can eat the raw versions of these, but I don't recommend it. It does give you a little bit of life, but raw chicken can actually get you really sick. Get salmonella from them. So I don't recommend eating raw chicken. Instead, we're going to cook this stuff up because one, it's safer, and two, it actually provides more of a benefit for us. So not only does it satisfy our hunger more, but it actually satisfies our hunger longer. So use some of this dirt right here. Get up a little higher because I saw a giant mushrooms before, and I want to go get one of the red ones. So this may seem a little bit weird, but I'm going to put this here as sort of like a beacon just in case I get lost. I know that our little hole is right over here, so I'm going to kind of put another one. This is just how I kind of like to do it, so I can see that that's lit up, and this kind of tells me the direction to safety. As you can see, it's already midday. Where does the time go? Usually you'll have more time for this because you're not narrating and explaining every step of the way, but there's a little cave over there. There's a big cave. I remember passing this cave, so I'm going to go this way, I think. Because I believe this way is where there are some giant mushrooms. So we have brown mushrooms so far. We have steak. We have chickens. There seems to be lots of those lying around. And you could just go around and wipe out all these chickens and gather up all their meat and what have you, but you basically, the best way to approach this, in my opinion, is to conserve. Only use what you need, because I'm going to get lost here. This is not the way that I came in. I don't know if I'm going to find that giant mushroom. Where was that? You kind of want to conserve a little bit because we want to end up getting into sustainable farming, where we can kind of pen in some of these chickens and cows and have a sustainable food source in the long run. So we don't have to constantly go out and hunt things and be worried about where our next meal is going to come from. So that's why I like to only take what I need for now. And but there is definitely plenty of chickens lying around here. I should have kind of spent some time scouting around before I went out. The last thing you want to do is get lost out here. And this is, oh, there's a fire over there. That is curious. We could go check that out. It's not every day you see a fire in Minecraft. Oh, well. And I hear that's another zombie. We'll just go take a look at that real quick because that is very curious. And not sure if that is a problem or not. It is consuming up that tree, though. What is it? Sun's going down. No! Should have watched where I was going. This tutorial is really about food, but I am curious as to why that tree is on fire. I shouldn't be using my sword to do that, but it was what was in my hand at the time. Even if you do things like that where... Man, how did that happen? That is not good. Wonder if a zombie got caught in the tree and then just when daylight came, he burst into flames. So certain monsters, we'll get into this later when we get into defense, and we have to learn our offensive skills. That monsters come out at night, but when daytime comes, if they're still lying around or kind of walking around out here, then they get hit by the sun, then they burst into flames, which is fortuitous for us because there are a lot of them out there usually. And that one might have burst into flames, maybe got stuck in a tree or something, and caught the tree on fire, which I may have to check that back out later to make sure that it doesn't spread to the rest of the forest. All right, back to what we were doing, our hunger bar. Now you can see now I'm down 6-7 meat pops. And also, I took that damage from the fall. That's kind of why I let myself fall a little bit. I try to be a little more careful. But you will not heal back your hearts unless your hunger bar is completely full. So you can't just magically heal yourself without potions. It won't happen. No food does that. You have to fill up your hunger bar, and then these kind of automatically come back. So what we're going to do, because it looks like, I bet you, it's going to be close to nighttime, and day 2 is coming close to an end, but we still have nighttime. And like I said, I don't like to waste. I like to burn the candle at both ends, so to speak, burn the torch at both ends. So back to what we were doing. I didn't collect any red mushrooms. Maybe we could do that in another episode. But if you make with mushrooms, you can make a stew, which is actually pretty nice. You would need to make a bowl, which uses a lot of planks. You can make bowls, and then you put the bowl in with your brown mushroom and your red mushroom, and you get mushroom stew. And now that's very satisfying. It fulfills, I think, 4 meat pops, plus it actually fills you up longer. There's 2 things to think about with food. There's how much does a specific food regenerate these meat pops. So things like steak, I think, give you 4, and we'll show you this in a second. Chicken gives you 3, but they also have what is called saturation, and saturation is basically like how much does it fill you up. So think about, let's say you were hungry and you went to the cupboard and you got yourself a bag of chips, and you eat a bowl full of chips. In an hour, you might be hungry again. But let's say you are hungry, you go to the refrigerator and you find a leftover steak and mashed potatoes from the night before, and you eat a big plate of that. Well, in an hour, you're probably still going to be full. And it's kind of the same idea. Saturation has that steak effect where you're actually more satisfied, more full longer. And certain foods like meat, cooked meat, have a higher saturation. It fills you up for a longer period of time. So when you do things like run around or a lot of work like mining or cutting down trees, these don't go down so quickly. So but let's start with the basics of eating. Now, I don't have anything like an apple or anything, so we can show you that in a little bit. You can cut down some oak trees and get apples. Only in the world of Minecraft you get an apple from an oak tree, but you can eat those apples. I think they give you 1 meat pop, but it's like eating the chips. They don't last very long, so I don't really rely on eating apples as a source of food unless I absolutely have to, because I'd have to carry around a lot of apples and constantly be eating them. But instead, what we want to do is cook up some of this meat that we harvested today, and we could use our coal, but like I said, you can actually use some of your old tools. Now, I could use this wooden pickaxe. We could save it for something later on if we wanted to get really nostalgic. But since this is a survival series, we're going to use up everything. We're going to be really good at conserving. So as you can see, the tool was consumed into fire. It's getting used up very quickly to cook this chicken. And voila, the one tool cooked up 1 cooked chicken. There we go. Now, normally, a tool like that will only cook up 1 or 2 things, but a piece of coal actually can cook up 8 pieces of stone or meat or whatever. So this 1 piece of coal should cook up the rest of our food. So let's just drop that in there. It gets consumed. This isn't going down now as quickly because coal is a better source of energy for the furnace. And there we go. We get another cooked chicken. So all we have to do to eat this is put it in our hands, and that's just highlighting it. Now you can smack things with it. Oops, sorry. Like the wood or the door with your left click, but that doesn't really do us much good. You don't want to smack things with your chicken, your cooked chicken. It just gets it dirty. Instead, you want to right click, and that will eat it. And there we go. As you can see, we were down to just 3 bars. Now we have 6 bars. So it returned 3 more hunger bars. Now, as you can see, our coal cooked up the rest of that chicken. And I want to show you what a piece of cooked steak, cooked beef does for us. And there's other food sources out there. In Minecraft 1.8, now sheep drop mutton. They used to just drop only wool, but now sheep drop meat as well that can be cooked up. We can fish, and I'll show you how to build a fishing pole later on. We're going to need some string in order to do that and some more wood. We can cook up the fish, and there's different types of fish. Some fish you don't want to eat. Most of the fish is pretty safe. The rabbits, I believe, you can cook those up into Hassenpfeffer. There's wheat that we can harvest. We have to get seeds first. And that's kind of, wheat is more of the sustainable growing and surviving that we'll get into a little bit later on. And we can bake cakes. There's lots we can do. We'll get into that at a later episode. You can even eat rotten zombie flesh, but that, like raw meat, can get you very sick. So I'm going to just show you what steak does. I am missing 4 bars. Got a piece of steak in my hand. I'm just going to right click. Oh, not onto my... Let's just get back here a little bit. It's kind of hard. I'm not good at reversing. So, because I can't do this when I'm facing myself. All right. So right click. And the steak only gave us 3 more too. So I'm going to have to eat one more thing, and I'll do a little bit of chicken. And as you can see, actually, even when I was at, what's this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 bars, 9 meat pops, my health actually started to return. So you didn't need to be at a full 100%. But right when I got into this range here, I was at 9+ bar meat pops. My health came back, which is a good thing. Oop, that was my mistake. So that is pretty much how you cook up food. Oh, and I guess the coal needed to be just a little bit for one more piece. So it didn't quite get 8. It's around that 8 or so items, 7 to 8 items that each piece can do. Now, as you see, I can't get the coal back that didn't get used. The rest of it just stays in there as a lit furnace. Like I could drop a piece of this cobblestone in here. And like I said in the first episode, when you break up things like this, like the stone here, we get cobblestone. But if you want to get stone back, smooth stone, you just cook it up. So now I put that in my hand, and that's number 9. Put it back. It's like it was always there. So if you kind of like this look when we get into building our houses or building even more elaborate hobbit holes, as I like to call them, this is kind of just a temporary shelter of a hole. Not quite where I would like to set up shop for longer periods of time. But I do like digging into mountains, at least ones that have good views and near a lot of good resources. I do like this look. Sometimes I like to use the straight cobblestone look, and as you can see, that has more of that cobbly look to it. It's a little more variance. This is kind of a smoother, more gradient look. This has a lot more contrast. What was that? And our fire went out. Interesting. What else? All right, as you can see as well, because we are still nighttime. And another thing to notice is that as we were using our tools over the last 2 days, there's these little green bars down here, and that means that they're degrading. Now, I haven't used the axe. We cut down the 2 trees with our bare hands, which is pretty awesome. But I did use the sword to catch the to kill the cow and the chickens. I've used the stone pick to build this lovely hole in the ground or in the wall, and I used the stone shovel to get some dirt out of the way. So they're degrading, and these bars, you can see the sword I didn't use much. I didn't use the shovel much. They're kind of pretty much full, but the stone pickaxe I've used quite a bit, and it's going down. And the green is turning from this nice bright green to more of this kind of olive green, and it'll turn more even further to a brown color, and then it's just going to break all completely into pieces when it's used up. and then it just disappears out of our inventory. So when this gets down further, and I'll kind of be mindful of that, we'll build an extra tool. So we always have some on hand. But, this is our backpack area. This is all we can carry with us. So it's not like we want to be carrying things we don't need right now. So that's why I kind of put things like the doors and, I gathered eggs. I don't really need those right now. I don't really need the mushrooms. I don't have anything I can do with it. I don't need the leather right now either because we're going to use that, save that up to make armor. Now, leather can also be used to make things like books, but we're not quite there with bookmaking yet. I don't really have a lot of time to read. I have to worry about surviving. Oh, man. There's a creeper creeping outside the door. All right, now, that was very bad offensive and defensive skills, but I kind of wanted you to see. One, I kind of got trapped in my own door there, but I wanted you to see what happens when you fight a creeper and why they're so dangerous. Now, I have to kind of rebuild all this because this looks terrible and doesn't really, it just gives me a big hole that I can fall into when I come out of my our hidey hole. So I'm going to put some of this back, and I hear an Enderman, which is not necessarily good either. Because I do not have anything. I would need probably an iron sword to fight an Enderman right now. And I hear a zombie somewhere. Man, these guys, there must be a hole somewhere. Going back to the creeper, they blow up, and they take you and everything around them with them, which makes them probably one of the more dangerous ones. You don't even know they're coming until they're pretty much right on top of you. They walk silently, like the zombie. You can hear him; he's moaning. The creeper kind of makes that little squeak sound. But the creeper creeps. That's what creepers do. Creeper got to creep. So until they're pretty much right near you, you don't even hear them. They start to sizzle, and they actually speed up as they get closer, which makes them incredibly dangerous. So in that case, I came out, I saw him, I took 2 hacks with him. I got stuck here because I didn't hop up. But if I had hit him, went away, he might have diffused, and I could hit him again, run away, hit him again. It would take 3 or 4 hits to kill him. If you're kind of safely away, you can kind of hit them, and they'll just blow up over here. But they make a giant mess, and I don't like having to rebuild everything every time they blow up. So it's best to try to kill them before they have a chance to explode. But anyway, that's day 2, talking about food in our hunger bar. Let me get up here where I can be seen. I should probably go outside and do this. And let's close our door. Anyway, I'm terrible at this camera angle stuff. Thank you for watching, and day 3 is already starting, but we'll have to find something else. We've got plenty to do in this brand new world, so I will see you on the other side. Thanks for watching. A like is always appreciated, and I'm signing out. So long.